and build you some roads, as opposed to the U.S. comes in and says, how about I shoot you in the face and steal your shit? People are going to like what China says more than the U.S. there. And everybody knows that about the U.S. So you can't trust us. You can't work with us. We're threatening to literally steal Greenland. And so immediately everybody's going to go, okay, well, who do you default to having as the global leader? It would be China. Now, in the past, we've talked about how many polls throughout the years have said that the United States is the number one threat to world peace. When you compare us against any other country, we always ended up getting a higher percentage of the world that said we threaten peace. And it's very simple. I mean, we were the world's sole superpower, and we were the imperialist nation. And so it's correct. It was factually accurate to say that. But it was interesting to see, okay, like North Korea is ranked as not as big of a threat as us. Iran, of course, ranked as not as big of a threat compared to us. Russia, like you go down the list, and all those other countries were ranked as less of a threat to the world than we are. So that's how the world thought of us already. Now, however, having said that, that also was counterbalanced by a significant percentage of people around the world who kind of like the U.S., right? They kind of like the U.S. So back when Barack Obama was president, for example, the world generally had a relatively positive view of the United States. Well, now we've pissed it all away and then some, and we've hit a brand new low. And for the first time ever, look at this. This is in the Hill. China now tops the U.S. in global approval ratings. This is according to Gallup. Global approval of China surpassed the U.S. in 2025, the widest favorability gap between the two countries in almost 20 years, according to a new Gallup poll released Friday. Gallup found that China's global approval rating last year reached a median of 36% in support of the country's leadership. U.S. leadership saw its median approval rating drop to 31%, a fall of 8 percentage points since 2024. China's approval rose from 32% in 2024. Gallup found U.S. leadership disapproval reached a record high of 48%. Last year was the second year on record where both countries registered negative net global approval ratings. The median net approval for China dipped to -1, with the U.S. dropping down to a median net approval of -15, the lowest on record. China saw the strongest relative alignment from countries like Russia, Pakistan, Tunisia, and Singapore. These countries' preferences reflect deep negativity toward the U.S. more than strong enthusiasm for China. In other words, we are so bad, we are so horrific, that it has like negatively polarized people into going, well, China's got to be better. Countries that include Israel, Poland, Kosovo, the Philippines, and Albania favor the U.S. Oh, what a surprise. Israel favors us. Shock. Their net approval resembles their net disapproval of China. Gallup found the percentage of respondents who expressed no opinion, reached some of its lowest levels in nearly 20 years. So everybody's got an opinion. 16% of respondents had no opinion on China, slightly more than 13% who said they have no opinion on the U.S. So, guys, understand something. It is so over for the U.S. empire. It is so fucking over. And, I mean, it shouldn't come as a surprise to anybody. This is what happens when you have a demented, psychotic, warmongering leader who tells everybody to fuck off. I mean, Trump has pissed off literally everybody around the world. He not only is waging actual wars, a new war seemingly every other week, he's also waging a fucking trade war, even against our allies. So who's left to support us? He's like badgering and browbeating all of our allies. Why aren't you helping us with our illegal war in Iran? Why aren't you helping us bomb the little girl school? So he's doing that. At the same time, he's launching the trade war. These people are all looking around going, oh, okay, so the world as we knew it no longer exists. We can't trust the U.S. They're not the global leader anymore. They're not the source of stability. And so immediately everybody's going to go, okay, well, who do you default to having as the global leader? It would be China. It would be China. They're like the manufacturing powerhouse of the globe right now. Also, internationally, they are solid to their word. That's the thing that I always warn people about with Trump that nobody else really talked about, that he destroyed our word on the global stage. Because when you casually rip up the Paris Climate Agreement, when you casually rip up the JCPOA, the Iran nuclear agreement, when you negotiate a deal with Canada, an economic deal, and then you get back in office and you rip up that same deal that you fucking negotiated, the sign that sends to everybody is never trust us ever about anything. And this is what Trump did. Like, he would lure Qasem Soleimani with promises of negotiations and then fucking murder him. And he did that trick a bunch of times over. And like, what that says is you can never trust the U.S. You can never trust Israel. It doesn't matter if we say we want peace or we want an agreement. You know, Trump will say one day your tariff is 10%. The next day he'll go, it's 25%. It's just all whim. It's a baboon regime. That's why I call it that. I call it the, rule by 12-year-old 4chan neo-Nazi boy. That's what this is. Like, it's just a total whim, instinct, impulse, visceral, like gut level decisions. You just fucking spit it out and keep it moving. And everybody knows that about the U.S. So you can't trust us. You can't make a deal with us. You can't work with us. We're threatening to literally steal Greenland. Like our fucking ally Denmark, that's part of Denmark. It's our ally. We're fucking threatening to steal Greenland, blow up NATO completely, abandoning Ukraine, launching a new war every other week, stealing Venezuela's oil. I mean, there's no end to it. So the world looks at us and go, oh, you're chaotic, you're insane, you're unstable. And at least China is stable. And that's the gist of it, right? Yes, in many ways they're authoritarian. There's not a lot of free speech there. There's internet censorship. All that stuff is true. They also have amazing high-speed rail. They also have mid-tier cities that just absolutely mog our top-tier cities. They're also a manufacturing powerhouse. They're also doing the Belt and Road Initiative, and people find it a lot more appealing if China says, hey, I'll come and build you some roads, as opposed to the U.S. comes in and says, how about I shoot you in the face and steal your shit? People are going to like what China says more than the U.S. there. So the world has caught on. The world has, woken up to the fact that it's over. It's over. Like, there's no way around this. The U.S. empire is coming to a close. And don't even get me started on the Iran war, the Strait of Hormuz, basically screwing over our Asian allies for sure, also screwing over our European allies. Now the unipolar global order when it comes to maritime trade is gone. Iran is controlling the Strait of Hormuz. They're saying you can make a deal with us and we'll let you through, but you're going to pay us a little bit of a tax. And also we can trade in yuan, the Chinese currency. Like, dollar dominance is donezo. It's only a matter of time until we're no longer the world reserve currency and the sun will permanently set on the American empire. And that's what's happening. And now the fact that now we have polls very clearly saying China tops the U.S. in global approval ratings, that is reflective of the current age and the current era. And I think that that's only going to get even more severe. These numbers are only going to become solidified and move even more in China's direction because there's no salvaging what we have at this point. And so we made our bed and we're going to fucking sleep in it.